Today is World Firefighters Day, and of course we have a guest in the studio that will look at issues around, the contribution firefighters make for the safety of people and property. Also, endorsements continue to pour in for the continuity in office of President Bola Tinubu in 2027 and beyond. These and more we'll be bringing to you shortly. Thank you for joining us on Panorama. I'm Ruth Aguwele. Welcome. In Jigawa State, we hear the future looks promising for agriculture, youth empowerment and rail transformation as strategic investments are being made in these areas in line with the president's drive towards a greater Nigeria. This was further reinforced when the presidential media team visited the Northwest State to see developments firsthand. Jonathan Omojali reports.
When the presidential media team visited the Malamaminu Triangle in Dusi to inspect modern equipment acquired to boost mechanized farming in the state, they saw a scale of investment that surpassed expectations. Last year, the state was the second largest producer of rice in the country and comes first in the production of several crops.
You should know that Jigawa State is an agrarian state. We are the first producer of hibiscus in the country. We are the first in sesame. We are the first in wheat, sorghum, and so many other crops.
The executive governor procured 300 newly tractors complete with their implements, 80 boom sprayers, 60 combined harvesters, 150 rice seeders, 150 maize seeders, and a host of other equipment.
Agriculture is only one aspect of the state's collaboration with the federal government. At the renewed Hope Technical Facility, a scale acquisition center focused on fabrication and welding, the team was briefed on ongoing efforts to build local technical capacity and reduce dependence on foreign expertise.
We can be able to feed the oil companies with young people working in the ships, in the oil companies, and all related kind of oil activities that are going on. At the same time, we are going to also be able to construct what we require in the state.
We came here, we learned a lot of things here, like welding and fabrication. As you can see, everything that you see here, we fabricate it here.
The visit also took the team to the Bola Ahmed Tinubu Multipurpose Scale Acquisition Center, an initiative designed to empower young people with practical skills. The team further inspected a branch line of the ongoing rail project and received briefing on progress made on the Kaduna-Kano-Jigawa-Katsina-Maradi rail corridor.
This part is the branch line. It's coming from Kano to Duse, and the project has attained 60% completion progress. The project is expected to complete it from Kano, Jigawa, Katsina, December this year.
Like the states earlier visited, Jigawa provides another demonstration of Nigeria's strategic investment in critical sectors aimed at improving livelihoods and driving sustainable development. Jonathan Omajali, NTA News.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Niger State Governor Mohammed Umar Bago have received another endorsement from APC stakeholders from Niger North Senatorial District. Mukhtar Wowo reports.
Kontagora Town Field played host to Niger North APC stakeholders, including the Minister of State, Agriculture and Food Security, Abdullahi Sabi, as well as party supporters from Kontagora, Wushishi, Mariga, Mashegu Federal Constituency. A consensus was reached by all at the gathering to endorse President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Governor Mohammed Umar Bago for a second time, citing their developmental strides and reforms as reason for the endorsement.
This is to prove that Niger North, Zone C, is APC, and APC is Niger North.
It's as good as we have shut Niger State down. This is a clear testament that Niger State is APC.
The convener of the political event, a member representing Kontagora, Wushishi, Mariga, Mashegu Federal Constituency, Abdullahi Idris Garba, was also endorsed by APC stakeholders and supporters from his constituency, Abdullahi Idris Garba, while enumerating the achievements of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Governor Bago, assured them that the APC government will continue to focus on developmental projects that will uplift the living standard of the citizenry.
I'm so happy for my people to ask me to come and contest for the 6th time. That means I'm doing something good. And I promise again, I will never disappoint them.
Climax of the event was the presentation of a 10 million naira check to Abdullahi Idris Graba, contributed by his friends and supporters to obtain the AAPC expression of interest and nomination forms. In Kontagora, Mukhtar Wu, NTA News.
And still from the political scene, presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 general election, Peter Obi, and former Kano State Governor Rabiu Kwankwaso have defected to the newly registered Nigeria Democratic Congress, NDC. They announced their defection after a closed-door meeting with the national leader of the party, Senator Siriake Dixon, at his residence in Abuja. Their defection to the NDC is coming a few months after both Peter Obi and Kwankwaso joined the ADC from their respective political parties. The Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, led by its chairman, Senator Adolphus Wabara, has formally assumed administrative leadership of the party following a recent judgment by the Supreme Court of Nigeria. This was at the 84th board meeting in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
This Board of Trustees meeting came ahead of a National Executive Committee meeting scheduled for this Monday in Abuja. Addressing BOT, Wabara said the decision to step in was in line with the party's constitution, aimed at preventing a leadership vacuum after the court ruling, explaining that the judgment nullified the 2025 National Convention, which produced the Kabiru Tanimu Turaki-led National Working Committee. The situation, according to BOT, necessitates immediate intervention to stabilize the party.
Our party has already secured the statutorily required consent of 2/3 of the members of the National Executive Committee, NEC, to convene the 103 NEC meeting, and INEC has also or will also be notified.
Wabara disclosed that the party had since received widespread messages of support from members and stakeholders across the country, expressing confidence in the PDP's ability to overcome its current crisis. The BOT chairman, however, traced the roots of the crisis, rocking the PDP to a series of events leading up to the planned 2025 convention, including internal disputes and legal challenges that ultimately culminated in the Supreme Court judgment. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
All right, and we have in the studio, of course, we told you earlier that today is International Firefighters Day. So we have the Deputy Comptroller, Paul Abraham. He's the Public Relations Officer of the Federal Fire Service. Mr. Paul Abraham, yes. Thank you very much for joining us.
It's my pleasure to be here, Ruth.
All right, first of all, we want to commend the bravery, the sacrifices of firefighters. Well done. Keep up the good job. But let's delve into the issues, especially for Nigeria, which we know the challenges are peculiar when it comes to assessing the nation's current level of preparedness and responding to these emergencies. How would you, assess that?
Well, based on resources available at our disposal, I will say that the level of preparedness to respond is on high gear. We're very blessed with one of the best ministers, Honorable Dr. Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, very innovative. He's a man that thinks outside the box and is bringing all of those experiences into bear. So he's calling everybody out, and in line with that, the Controller General Samuel Adeyemi Olumude has also mandated his men based on available resources, and I can tell you that we're doing a yeoman's job.
So, but there's been challenges, especially in the aspect where people complain about delayed responses, fire trucks not arriving, with water or in a poor condition. How would you react to that?
Well, Ruth, this, I think from our perspective at the Federal Fire Service, I'll just say is one of those stereos that people have about fire service, because the general feedback that we have a feedback mechanism, and I can tell you that we have had more testimonials, more commendations, only on Friday, I was putting together, as the National Public Relations Officer, a commendations letter that we have received in the last 6 months, starting from August, when the new Controller General, Samuel Adeyemi, came into office. And I put together a total of 38 commendation letters from across the country. People saying, oh, thank you, you came on time, it was fire service that saved the day, you know, and all of that. So, but the Nigerian populace still has a stereo. So when they see fire service, they still imagine that there may be no water. We don't have those kind of histories. Right now, we have over 100 state-of-the-art firefighting machines that can carry over 6,000 liters of water. Okay. And we also have water tenders to support where where that level of water in the appliance dries out. So we don't have those incidents in the immediate. But of course, again, people are not able to differentiate between the state fire service and the federal fire service. So we still have that, but we keep educating Nigerians and, you know, enlightening them that it's not a challenge that we must hold on to at the Federal Fire Service.
Which, of course, we're hoping will be replicated across states. But just a bit of background on the Firefighters Day. Of course, you know, when disasters strike in a community or a home, one of the early responders is the firefighter, which we're celebrating. Now, they put their lives on the line to save the lives of others and, of course, property. And observed every May 4th, Firefighters Day is set aside to honor firefighters for their courage and sacrifice. We see you, we hear you, and the 2026 commemoration focuses on recognizing the dedication of fire personnel and the need for improved safety, preparedness, emergency response systems for their use. So, Mr. Paul Abraham, getting back to you, in the aspect of the welfare and safety of these firemen is very important. If they put their lives on the line, what is in it for them, especially what the Federal Fire Service is doing to create a balance for personnel? Especially we hear there's an expansion in the aspect of recruitment and also ensuring that they live a safe life also.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ruth, for that question. And that's the essence for today's program at the headquarters that I just left, you know, to join you up in the studio. Today, the Controller General is inaugurating the Controller General's Welfare, Controller General's Award Recommendation Committee. In the same vein, across all the states of the Federation, they are going to have the Controller's Award Recommendation Committee. The essence is that those fire officers who have been exceptional in the discharge of their duty must be brought to limelight. It's time to celebrate our own. So that is something that we're doing, you know, as part of today's event. And when you talk about the welfare of the staff, I think that from the available resources and available information at our disposal, Controller General Federal Fire Service had not taken that with levity. Again, we must commend the leadership of the Honorable Minister, Dr. Honorable Olubunmi Tunji Ojo. He came up with the renewed hope mantra and, of course, the performance monitoring system, you know, performance management initiative. So we have KPIs, and part of those KPIs, in the middle of it all, is motivation. Okay. So motivation is something that we're trying to drive. Controller General is driving at it, you know, and is rewarding fire officers for gallantry, for bravery, for dedication, and for commitment. This is outside other things that Controller General, through the auspices of his friends, you know, who have also been able to donate welfare materials, medical outreach, you know, to firefighters across the country.
You know, DC, when we hear the military say morale high, we expect that is the same, you know, it's replicated for the firefighters. But just a quick... All right, thank you for staying tuned. We still have DC Paul Abraham with us, the spokesperson for the Federal Fire Service. DC, before we took that break, you mentioned efforts at the federal level. Let's look at how the federal wants to ensure that the states replicate that, especially in the aspect of ensuring adequate infrastructure. Some of these innovations we have seen at the federal level. Are you getting that synergy, you know, with state governments to ensure that there is support needed at the state level.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of that. We can't have enough, but it's something that is on the Controller General's table. I can tell you that in the heart of his address today during the International Firefighters Day, he called on state governments, he called on corporate Nigeria, he called on members of the National Assembly. And the call was simple, that they should invest in firefighting infrastructure. This will go a long way to ensure that we have more fire stations. It will go a long way to reduce response time. And then it will go a long way, to boost the confidence of Nigeria. You know that firefighting, in particular in Nigeria, is government social corporate responsibility to her citizens. So it's something you do and all you get, sometimes you don't even get a thank you, but it's an area that needs to be invested in, and Controller General is not resting on his house. He's calling out whoever matters. They need to support fire service in Nigeria.
And you say you don't get a thank you, so I'm saying a big thank you on behalf of the Nigerian Television Authority. Thank you for the sacrifices you make. Thank you for putting your lives at risk. Thank you, DC. Not to you alone, but to the entire Federal Fire Service.
Thank you, Ruth. And I'm telling you that this will go a long way to encourage firefighters. We're really happy with this administration. They're doing a lot, to boost the morale of our men.
Okay.
It was a nationwide celebration for us during the Afri Tower incident, where the president tweeted, and commended the effort of the Federal Fire Service. We thank him for what he's doing for the Federal Fire Service.
Thank you very much, DC Paul Abraham, Public Relations Officer for the Federal Fire Service, and well done.
Thank you.
All right. So let's turn to other issues. The Inspector General of Police, Tunji Disu, has cautioned officers of the Nigeria Police Force against the misuse of firearms and other acts of unprofessional conduct. The warning was conveyed by the Commissioner of Police, Delta State Command, Yemi Oyeni, while addressing officers and men in Asaba, Delta State. Godfrey Nzekwe reports.
The high-level meeting involving divisional police officers, DPOs, area commanders and tactical commanders was convened to address concerns surrounding unprofessional conduct within the Nigeria Police Force. The engagement, held on the directive of the Inspector General of Police, focused on reinforcing discipline, accountability, and adherence to established rules of engagement. Participants were sensitized on the importance of upholding human rights in the course of their duties, with emphasis placed on the need for officers to operate within the law at all times. The session also highlighted the appropriate use of firearms, clearly outlining situations that warrant their use and circumstances where restraints must be exercised.
All of you are aware of the standard conduct expected of each police officer. It is unfortunate that these conducts are not being followed. While some of the officers are doing the right thing, some are shortfall in their professional conduct. It's also not happy incivility to members of the public. The public are the people we are working for. Whatever we are going to do that is not going to be in tandem with what is expected by the members of the public from us cannot deem that we have done policing the right way. Policing is all about service to the people.
The meeting forms part of the ongoing efforts by the Police High Command to instill professionalism, promote responsible policing, and strengthen community confidence in law enforcement across the country. In Asaba, Godfrey Nzekwe, NTA News.
The Nigerian Railway Corporation has condemned the repeated attacks on its train operations along the Abuja-Kaduna rail corridor, describing the incidents as dangerous and a threat to national infrastructure. The NRC Chief Public Relations Officer, Callistus Unyimadu, said the latest attack occurred around kilometer 177, where unknown persons reportedly pelted stones at a moving train, damaging the windscreen of the leading locomotive. Similar incidents have been recorded in more than 6 locations within the past 2 weeks, including areas in Chikun local government area of Kaduna State. Despite these challenges, the NRC said train operations have continued under strict safety measures and heightened vigilance by railway staff. Nigeria is stepping up efforts to advance women's rights with the inauguration of a high-level committee to drive the implementation of the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. Momso Damian Detti reports that the committee was set up by the Minister of Women Affairs.
This oath-taking marks a renewal of the federal government's push to translate global commitments into tangible outcomes for women and girls, amid persistent concerns over gender inequality, access to justice, and economic inclusion. The committee is designed as a central coordinating hub, aligning gender policies, harmonizing programs, and eliminating duplication across government institutions.
This approach reflects our understanding that meaningful change must be localized. By embedding CEDAW principles within states and communities, we're creating a governance model that is responsive, inclusive, and result-driven. The work of this committee will therefore be instrumental in guiding, standardizing, and scaling these efforts across the Federation.
We are in arrears in like 3 reports for the CEDAW committee, and we want to show that Nigeria is a leader in Africa, we are compliant, and we want to also show to the world all the good practices that are happening in Nigeria, all the things happening in the different sectors, in technology, in energy, in climate. Nigeria is in the lead, but we cannot showcase that if we do not have a good reporting mechanism.
Most importantly, the body would deploy measurable gender indicators to track progress, generate credible data, and strengthen accountability as key factors to closing long-standing gaps in women's rights and shaping evidence-based policy decisions. In Abuja, Momso Damian Detti, NTA News.
Right, next will be sports update.
Prosperity Action is heating up as more teams book their place in the next stage. After 2 months of thrilling matches across 30 centers, the competition has begun to separate the contenders from the rest. Nimbe local government champions, Kuruduma United, powered their way through a convincing 4-1 victory over Mini FC, showing their clear dominance. Former champions Crusader FC also advanced after edging Mountain of Fire by a lone goal in a tightly contested encounter.
Extent is not easy. Some people have been knocking out. It's not because of we know how to do it. I know it's because of the grace of the Lord. Because as you're advancing to the game, the more the game is harder. The more you're advancing to the game, the more the game is harder.
Elsewhere, Inter Milan have been crowned champions of the Serie A 2025-2026 season with a 3-match remaining, sealing the title. Milan have been crowned after beating Parma 2-0 at the San Siro on Sunday. Inter's triumph was confirmed after their latest victory, which took them to the top of the table, putting them beyond the reach of their closest challengers. Meanwhile, in the English Premier League, where Manchester United have been secured Champions League qualification after a 3-2 victory over Liverpool in a thrilling encounter at Old Trafford. Meanwhile, at Vitality Stadium, Bournemouth moved up, step closer to securing European football for the first time in their history after climbing into 6th with a 3-0 win over Crystal Palace at home. Lastly, Janicinia becomes the first man to win 5 consecutive Masters 1000 titles after beating Alexander Zverev in straight-set win at the Madrid Open. The Italian first seed completed an impressive 6-1, 6-2 victory in 58 minutes after world number 3 to achieve his record-breaking feat. With Sports Update, Peter Oibo, NTA News.
And that concludes Panorama. Thank you for your time. Do have a beautiful day ahead. I'm Ruth Aguela. Bye.